Welcome to Travel Market Life, your companion for industry insights and professional business development. Travel Market Life. Join us by webcast, video or podcast.
Hello and welcome to Travel Market Life. I'm your host Ryan Haynes, and in today's episode we're going to be looking at social media, a promotional tool for the hotel industry, as part of the ACE Hotel Tech Summit 2023 in London, where I am going to be host and chairing the event. As part of this, Jamal Ben Amour, President and Managing Director of Iris Hotels, will be sharing his insight into how he utilised social media to launch his brand, Iris Hotels. Iris Hotels opened its first properties in November 2020. It now has a portfolio of 5 boutique properties in Saudi Arabia, with 2 4-star hotels due in 2023 and 3 further properties in the pipeline. Jamal is also founder and director of Marimo Hotels in the UK, which is due to launch imminently. In our conversation today, in social media in hospitality, we'll be looking at approaching social media, the effective channels for social, the impact on bookings, and deploying successful campaigns.
Travel Market Life.
Hello Jamal, thank you ever so much for joining me today. Now, you've got a very interesting story in and around social media, and I know the hotel industry as a whole has had to really adapt and change the way it engages with the market, builds its brand and recognition, and develops its relationships with the guests. So I'd love to hear. Tell us first though, about your brand, which you launched in 2021.
Thank you, Ryan, for having me. I love your podcast. I've been a big fan of you, and I followed your podcast from the beginning. So I hope this podcast will be beneficial to our listeners, and again, it give us a platform to introduce ourselves to the market and people get to know us a lot more. So straight to your question, we launched Iris Hotels. Initially, it was registered in UAE about 2018. Then we went to the Saudi market. As you might know, the Saudi market is possibly the best performing market now in hospitality, and we launched our first property in October 2020. Unfortunately, the time when we launched our hotels, the pandemic hit, and we were looking for a mean to promote our brand, to communicate with our potential customers, to position our brand in the market, and the pandemic really worked for us rather than against us, because other people were closing hotels at the time, and we opening hotels. So it gave us the opportunity to pick and choose from the thousands of people sitting without work, and also the challenge we had at the time is how can we communicate very quickly to our customers? How can we engage with our customers, and to really find our customers, because at the time people were not traveling so much. So we were very successful in very quickly identifying who's the potential customer, the imminent potential customer for us, and also. We wanted some sort of strategy how to position the brand and think in the long term rather than just filling the hotels immediately. And it was a huge challenge at the beginning, because looking at traditional advertising, it was really not a good idea. It does not yield. Again, people not engaging with traditional advertising very much. Social media start booming in Middle East, and especially in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the most used social media platforms possibly in the GCC and Africa. But the other challenge really is to choose the right platform to use for communication with our customers, and also to promote the brand. So we made a couple of we made a couple of mistakes in terms of choosing the right platform, and later maybe in the podcast we'll talk about that. But in the nutshell, using certain platforms in social media really gave us a boost and a faster track to engage and communicate with our customers and promote the brand and position the brand where we want it to be.
I mean, it's fascinating, as you say. I mean, trying to launch a hotel portfolio brand during the midst of the pandemic. I guess from 2018, you had this big vision that you were going to have all these international tourists, and you were going to be able to really market to them in the 6 months leading up to the opening of it. As we know, everything closed down in March, April 2020, which was 6 months before your opening. So, what do you do now? But it sounds like you really managed to think on your feet, take that word of 2020, pivot, and really be able to change that strategy that you needed to there to be able to get those bookings coming in. What's really interesting is, as you say, sort of like that reasoning behind doing the social media, that it wasn't just about filling the rooms. It wasn't just about getting the immediate bookings, but it was also about building that wider brand identity for Iris Hotels. Let's have a look at the channels then. I'd love to hear a bit more about which channels worked and which ones didn't, because as you mentioned, I made a few mistakes along the way, which is all part of learning. It's all part as well, I believe, in identifying what works for your brand. Just because and you know, we'll be listening, as Jamal says, just because Jamal had success on these channels for Iris Hotels does not mean that any other property and portfolio and brand out there is going to have the same success if they follow exactly what Jamal and the team did. But what it's important to take the learnings about how Jamal identified those mistakes and was able to sort of redevelop that strategy. So tell us about those social media channels that were most effective then, Jamal.
It's not what happened in Saudi and worked in Saudi will work in other countries, and that's where we made the mistake at the beginning. For instance, I mean, everybody went crazy at the beginning. So we have to have a Facebook page, and we have to promote the Facebook page. And soon after that, we made the Facebook page, we launched it, and literally the engagement is virtually zero, like 2 or 3 per day.
Wow! Okay.
Because people in Saudi Arabia, they don't actually use Facebook at all. And it actually was to my surprise. I thought people use Facebook everywhere, but Saudi Arabia is possibly the most or the least used platform. So we stopped using Facebook, and then eventually, very quickly, we had to get our heads around it. Remember, we were working on a very tight budget, and we cannot really spend so much money. It's boutique hotels. We're not 100% certain this is going to work. Allow me to just talk a little bit about the hospitality market in Saudi Arabia. The market has the very low scale of the accommodation and lodging, like the furnished apartments, very badly run. Most of them all individuals, right? So there's no branding, there's no standard, there's a really, really very poor quality. And then you jump right up to the luxury segment, which is you have the 4-star deluxe and the 5-star hotels, which is very, very expensive. And they cater for a certain segment in the market. So we had this huge gap. And at the same time, when we launched our brand, most of the hotel brands, they don't exist in Saudi Arabia. So you have the big boys like the Hilton, the Marriott, Accors, and that's about it. So everyone else is locally run property. So we can see a gap in the market in terms of how we're going to position our brand. And at the same time, all these hotels, all these small lodging places, they closed down because they couldn't really cope with what the Ministry of Tourism and the Ministry of Health is asking for in Saudi Arabia. So they decided to close. So there's a lot of people traveling, still people traveling in Saudi Arabia. The absolute lockdown, it was very short, and then people start moving slightly within the country. You're talking about 25 million people in Saudi Arabia at the time or at the moment. There's 14 million actively using social media on a daily basis. 12 million of the 14 they use Instagram. Now in 2023, TikTok start picking up really fast and start competing with the likes of Instagram and Snapchat. But Snapchat really is more for messing around rather than serious business. So really it was obvious for us, and it was affordable for us as well to be on a daily basis on the platform, mainly Instagram, TikTok.
So Instagram was the best channel for you. What sort of campaigns were you running on Instagram that really got the attention and was having an impact on your commercials?
Look, at the time we focused a lot more on the health and safety side of the business, which is very weird. People prior to this period, nobody talks about health and safety in hotels, especially in this part of the world. Suddenly, everybody geared up for health and safety, the cleanliness of the property, and thankfully we had the experience. So the first campaign we did is the cleanliness about the property, the safety of the guest, and all that, and it was really short clips, small ads here and there, especially focused on the social media to interact with the people who we want to interact with, and it really worked for us. Then we focused on the season. For instance, you have at the time we had Ramadan, and then we had Hajj, and then we had a few events which is we're not allowed to do anything for, because the gathering people was absolutely no. But what we did is we created some sort of service within the rooms. Remember, we are a boutique hotel, so we can really expand our muscles as much as we want. And also the good thing for us was as I said before, with thousands of people sitting with our work, so it was very easy for us to get the people to work, and it really did work for us. We used to do a lot of food and beverage within the room.
It sounds a fantastic way for you to be able to promote your wider services within the hotel, and wider opportunities of hotels, of guests being able to expand their experience while they're staying on your property, and bringing that to life through a social media channel. And that's some of the difficult parts, isn't it, when it comes to sort of advertising and marketing a property, is how do you market everything that you do, every service? And obviously in an advert, it's one picture, it's a few words, you can't Absolutely. Say very much. All you can do is communicate the vibe maybe of the brand. In a TV advert, you might be able to show a few bits and pieces within 30 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, depends on how big your budget is. But within social media, every single day you can show a different aspect of the boutique hotel's personality, the different types of service, and how your staff really attend to the guests and give them that experience. So it must have been really quite exciting at the same time for you and your team to try to come up with these creative ideas.
Look, actually, I made the biggest mistake. I actually forced all my team. I said, no, we're doing this, and we've done a video, right, to promote the brand, obviously talking about Iris and the different categories in Iris and hospitality from the heart and soul and all this. And the video is actually 3 minutes long, right? So, and then once we start working with social media, we couldn't use it anywhere in social media. So we had to go back and say, look, it's my fault. I shouldn't do that. But as you said, it's we learned very quickly how to engage, especially in small adverts, especially social media. Look, we are doesn't matter where you come from. Our focus span is very short when it comes to social media. So you have a few seconds to engage with these people, otherwise he's gone. So we had to learn very, very quickly and make sure the communication has to be engaging very quickly. They have to receive the message within the first 10 seconds. Otherwise, you're going to lose them. We were very lucky. We made mistakes very, very early.
Now, Jamal, you weren't on your own. You've already talked about your team. Can you tell us, please, about how you found your team, how you identified the people to work with, and how you worked with them so that they could be successful in this social media campaign? Because, as you say, it was brand new for the brand. So how do you keep that motivation? How do you have an openness to conversation where everybody's contributing their expertise and their ideas?
I am actually involved in every single aspect of the operation. I am involved in every single thing of the marketing, sales. I created this brand. I have the details of the brand. I have the vision of the brand. So for me to very quickly get people on board and let them do what they think is right, it's very risky, especially when you're trying to position a brand in a market, very difficult market to start with. The second thing now is the most competitive market in the world, and our position especially for the boutique hotels, we're sitting just behind the major brands, the Hiltons, the 4 and 5 star hotels. We're offering the 4 and 5 star hotel service, but we're not pricing our customers the 4 and 5 star hotel price. However, we are more expensive than everybody else. So in this particular position in the market, you have to really have the heart to do it to start with. I managed to get a very decent team, very, very good team, and I'm very proud of them. Actually, most of them are still with me now. I read a book once. He said that you need 28 days to change a habit, and we take a task and we keep at it for a month until it become a habit in the operation. Then we can move on. We have a long journey, and to do everything at the same time is foolish. You have to take it step by step, try to create the right culture in the team, try to pick the right people who really understand what you want to do and what you want to deliver. And this is very crucial, and not only in hospitality, in any industry, really. If you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, you need to recruit right. But the most important, look, experience for me is nothing. You have to recruit for the attitude. You have to recruit for the mindset. You have to recruit for the ambition of the person. We're very, very lucky. We launched this brand during the pandemic, so we had the time, we had the people, we had to choose from whatever we want, and really helped us very quickly to position our brand in the market where we want it to be. You have to recruit correctly, and you have to really invest in your people on a daily basis. You have to send your message on a daily basis. You have to change the habit, and whatever you want to achieve within your brand, you have to feed it to who you're going to let go to. Because remember, your entrepreneurship, it's all about leading, doing yourself. Then you have to learn when to let go and who to let go to. We opened another boutique hotel a couple of weeks ago, and it's a beautiful property, and I wish I could invite you to Saudi Arabia and see our brands. It's a beautiful place. So and the cluster GM is actually used to be my sales manager when he came to me, and eventually I invested into him, and now he's leading 2 hotels, possibly the 2 most successful hotels in my portfolio. So
That's wonderful. And as you're launching this property and your upcoming properties that we talked about very early on in the introduction to you, social media, I guess, is a key aspect of your marketing and advertising.
For our hotel industry, social media now, it's a vital thing. It's an important, you have to be there. You have to be daily active on the social media. However, you have to be very, very careful, because once one bad comment, one trigger, it might damage your reputation. It might take you up and bring you down. I mean, every day we look at Booking.com rating, we look at Google comments every day on a daily basis. And all my hotels, they have the iPad and reception with the WhatsApp, with all the social media platform opened on the iPad, and they literally answer guests on as soon as you put a comment, either good or bad, straight away the reception staff will reply to your message. So it took us a long time to get there, but look, it is, as you said, social media is forced on us, and we have to take it, and there is no way we're gonna work without it. So it is our best friend at the moment until another day.
It requires constant work. Absolutely. Jamal, thank you ever so much for sharing that insight with us today. Absolutely fascinating, and the journey that you've gone through and the journey that you're still going on. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and I will hopefully see you at the show.
So I will be hosting the ACE Hotel Tech Summit 2023 in London, where Jamal Benamor, the president and managing director at Iris Hotels, is going to be diving a lot more deeper into this topic, social media as a promotional tool for the hotel industry. I think what was fascinating there is not just how you use social media, but how you actually incorporate it within your strategy, how you think about it from a leadership perspective, and how you go about those learnings and work with your team to maximize the opportunities and recognize where things aren't working. Don't forget to leave a review or a rating on our podcast channels, or share as well with your colleagues and friends on LinkedIn. Ciao for now.
For more, go to Travel Market Life. The music sensation by Zach Nelson is reproduced under license from Storyblocks. Travel Market Life is a Haynes Marcoms digital marketing agency production, serving the travel and technology industries.